for the final quarter of the final edition of the 2012 Riddle District Football League Web TV program, a grand final edition. Now, we had a chat to the guys there, very pumped there, Gav, giving nothing away, really.
Yeah, nothing away. That's typical answers, you know, the old, if we kick more goals than the opposition, we'll win, but hey, it's sort of what you expect on grand final week, especially when they're sitting next to each other.
Well, certainly that's going to be a really good game, as we saw last year. A 2-point result between two competitive sides. Now, we know the Redbacks' track record on wet conditions hasn't been favourable this year.
Yeah, they've struggled in the wet and in poor conditions overall.
Too much pace.
The Redbacks' strength is that they use the ball very, very well, and when the conditions come out and affect that, it's shown in the results they've played so far.
The Sunbury Kangaroos have been strong right throughout the year, perhaps almost under the radar as opposed to your Diggers and the Romseys over the course of season 2012. But realistically, there's not as much pressure on them this time, or maybe there's a little bit more. I don't know how you look at it. But last year, the club had 5 grand finals. This year, they've got the one. The town's going to be getting right behind them this one. I think there might be a little bit of sentimental attachment to this because a lot of people did have a lot of heartache for them last year, having gone 0-5.
Yeah, it was a tough year for the Kangaroos last year. I mean, 0-5, you never want to rock up to a grand final day.
But to make a grand final full stop,
absolutely, make it there, fantastic effort, and the club was really strong for it. This year they've had good representatives or good representation right across the final series, which has been good, but they've only managed to get the one side in. Look, this one side is a very, very good side. Their last 8 weeks has been exceptional. Whether there's pressure there or not, I don't really buy into pressure.
It's just another game of football.
Everyone will, you get the normal old, last year Romsey copped they need to lose one before they can win it, and everyone was going to fall over at the line, and there was all this pressure because you're buying a premiership. Buying a premiership doesn't exist anymore, and these two sides they're seriously good football sides, and the reality is grand final day, the best side will win it.
Exactly, and that's what we saw last year. We just saw a real titanic battle. Now, if you had to stop one player from the Romsey Redbacks who's going to make the biggest impact, who would it have to be? Just one.
Just one. Blake Henderson.
Yep.
The young boy in the ruck. His ability around the ground to involve himself in the contest, second, third, fourth, fifth efforts for a ruckman. I mean, the amount of times that I've seen Blake contest the ruck, and then you see the umpire player holding the ball, and the guy getting up with the football for the free kick that's laid the tackle is Blake Henderson. His work rate's exceptional. It's phenomenal. He's clearly one of the standout ruckmen in the competition just for work rate alone.
For mine, I'd probably have to take a step and go Chris Petoro, because the 2 wins they've had this year in the finals has been when he's been able to pick up the ball and run and carry it and deliver it really well. Now, if the conditions are fine enough for him to do that, like we cannot forget that trademark run on Saturday where he carried the ball from half back to half forward. If he can do that, then I don't think there's any excuse really for not being able to carry the ball really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if he can do it, there's probably about 3 or 4 other players that'd be able to do that as well, and that's where Romsey can't get the win on the board.
Absolutely, and he's been good the last couple of weeks. The only thing that's probably let him down is that finishing. He's sprayed the football about quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, and look, I mean, it's he's a very, very talented footballer, and somebody's going to have to keep an eye out. But I'll tell you what, it's the battle of the wings. Both wings is just going to be exceptional to watch. I mean, you got Petoro and Matty Welsh on one wing, and you got Brad Mitchell and Jacob Opie on the other wing. 4 guys that have explosive pace, can all win the football, can all run with the football, and can all use the football. Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to those matchups, both of them.
Going to be very salivating to see that. Now, the same question as before. One play from the Sunbury Kangaroos, who are you going to stop and why?
Jamie Cuff.
Jamie Cuff, why?
He's just, I mean, the guy's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The reality is when Jamie's up and about, look, the problem, one of Sunbury's biggest problems is that Jamie probably does too much work. His marking ability, his ability to contest the ball again on the ground for a big guy who's, and I'll do Jamie a favour and say he's 35. He's not, he's about 40. something. But the ability to do that is crucial to Sunbury's lineup. He wins contested ball and feeds it out to the young guys to run. He'll win hit-outs, put it to an advantage of Mitchell Streif, of Ty, of all of those guys to get a run on and get moving. He just has so much impact on the contest. So if Romsey can shut him out of the game, it takes a lot of the actual drive of the Kangaroos out of the team.
Well, I don't think you can really fault that. My player, and he might be a bit of a ranked outsider, but Phil Kaufman, the last 2-3 quarters that he has played, I think he's single-handedly been the most dominant forward. Always plays in front. He had a dominating third quarter against the Redbacks, and of course, in my opinion, I think he won the game against Diggers Rest with that dominating third quarter. I reckon they say the premiership quarter is the third quarter, and on grand final day, it stands true to form. His track record going from three is looking really good, and I know that the boys down at Sunbury Kangaroos have got big raps on this kid across from Lansfield this year.
I've got big raps on him too. I think he's got a real future. He just needed to believe that he was a senior footballer, and I think that happened in the first final at Diggers. Third quarter specialist he is at the moment. Look, for the Kangaroos' sake, I'm hoping he can extend that out into maybe a first, second, third and fourth quarter specialist. The kid's got talent, so let's hope he can back that up this weekend.
And in one sentence, who's going to win this one and why?
Look, I think if it's 22 degrees and sunny, Romsey will win. If it's anything less, Sunbury will win. Sunbury's got the best balanced side in the competition. Romsey's got the most talent. It's going to be a fantastic game either way, and to be honest, I think it's probably going to come down to a kick under 10 points either way, whoever does win it. But I'll stick with Sunbury, and I'll say Sunbury will win it.
Well, the Roos have got the last two over them throughout the course of this year, so it would be an absolute pearl. Now, just quickly, while we've got a few moments, Bowen Medal Night, Cam Woods and, of course, Sarah Douglas, fitting winners of the league's best and fairest.
Absolutely, and if anyone's had the opportunity to see Cameron Woods play this year, you know he's going to stand out. He puts his head over the football.
Ball in a gate.
Bus packs open. He uses the ball well. Really deserving winner, and congratulations to him. And Sarah Douglas, fantastic, great, really speedy mid-quarter. Obviously an eye catcher who's was well deserving winner as well.
Poetry in motion when she gets the netball in her hands.
Apparently that's what I've heard.
Well, we're all pumped for this big one on Sunday afternoon at Lansfield, and if I can give a little bit of a plug there, Gav, for our boys behind the microphone.
Go for it.
100.7 Highlands FM will be broadcasting live from 9 o'clock as we cover every game live, and we'll also have a Best on Ground award for all 3 games of football, and of course regular updates from the netball. That all starts at 9 o'clock. You can listen to 88.1 FM at the ground or highlandsfm.org.au. We're camped up. We've been ready for a big one for this game.
Fantastic, mate. Really looking forward to the call, and might even sneak over there a couple of times and tell you what how well you're doing.
You might
bring you a hot dog. Or something.
Well, that's right. Thanks, Gav. We'll give you a few tips as well. Maybe a few bottles of wine to get the best in players. But
sounds good.
But well done on tonight's effort. We hope you've enjoyed it and got a little bit of an insight in what the 2012 Riddle District Football League Grand Final Day is all about. Of course, that's out at Lansfield. The first game starts at 9:30 with the big one starting at 2:45 p.m. My name's Yendi. This is Gav. We look forward to seeing you out there at the footy.